really far
Not a
behind.
bad bit.
All right, but you see it, right?
Yeah, but Facebook still thinks
You
I'm
got
holding my baby, which is like 6 minutes ago.
Yeah,
They're not
get rid
holding
of
my
the
round
baby.
king yet.
That's how abductions happen. You think you have the kid, and then all of a sudden it's like delayed. And
All right. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to get started. Hey, everyone, welcome to the first episode of Rabbis in Quarantine Getting Coffee. I'm your host, Avi Frier, very much not a rabbi, but I am in quarantine. And here with me I have Rav Oded Karavani of the Hebrew Academy of Greater Miami and Young Israel of Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. Rabbi Adam Frieberg, Young Israel of Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. Who we got? Rabbi Moshe Nachbar, Young Israel of Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, and Katz, Yeshiva High School. And of course, our Mora D'Atra, Rabbi Yosef Weinstock, Young Israel of Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. Now all the formality ends, and we've got some stuff to talk about. So we just came off of a 3-day yontif.
Wait, can I first make a l'chaim, Avi?
Would you please?
Okay, so you said coffee.
It's supposed
Coffee's
to be
a little hard
coffee.
for me at night. I don't like to have coffee late at night. It gives me the jitters. I can't fall asleep. So I'm having some lovely cold brew coffee flavored vodka.
Oh, that's good.
Looks very
Where'd you
cold.
get that?
Also.
I got it last year and I didn't open it. I must have known that this year I need alcohol more than last year.
Is that vodka made from corn?
No, it's Zachlawi. It's made from, I don't know, from whatever.
Okay.
So I just want to wish everyone a l'chaim. This will be the first of many l'chaims, that is. Baruch atah Adonai Melech HaOlam.
Amen. Amen. L'chaim. Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim. L'chaim.
I also did bring Shlivovitz plum brandy for Rabbi Nachbar, but I will not be drinking it because it's actually really gross.
Right, and you can't bring it to him because we are social distancing, of course, which is something Jews know absolutely nothing about. We don't know how to social distance.
Sephardi Jews. Especially Sephardi Jews.
Sephardi Jews do know?
Don't know.
Oh,
Especially
don't know.
them.
Oh, no.
They have no idea what to do with their hands, and you know they're like they have no idea.
No?
I heard that Sephardi Jews, it's social distancing if you only kiss one cheek as opposed to two.
One cheek.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
This is a family program.
But that's the thing. We all of our values center around, like, you have to have hachnasas orchim. You don't have hachnasas orchim, you're not a good Jew. So now kick everybody out of your house, kick everybody out of your yard, kick everybody off your porch. We don't know how to social.
And it's not you're a rodif, you're a killer. See, like that's how we flipped it around.
Right. Well,
6 feet. How far is 6 feet?
Yeah, that's another problem. For some reason, when it comes to the size of an olive for the matzah, it's huge, right? An olive is like 5 pieces of matzah, but when it comes to 6 feet away from each other, social distancing, if you measure it with a tape measure, it's usually closer to 2 or 3 feet. So I think that's why we've had to come down hard, us rabbis, on the social distancing thing, because we love you, but we Jews don't know how to measure feet when it comes to distancing. I
think the problem is that rabbis are getting involved and they're going, well, it's 6 feet. Is it ad va'ad bichlal or ad velo ad bichlal? Do we include the space from the back of my head to the back of your head? Is it the space? It's from my nose. My nose is extra long, and all the way over. I have to stand an inch back.
That's right.
It's interesting sugya. What is Dalit Amos? Like is it 6 feet? Is it not?
6 to 8 feet. But also,
Jason Schulman's a doctor, and he says 4 amos.
4 amos. But is that Chazon Ish amos, or is it?
Is it Chaim Noah? What are we talking about?
You have to give people examples. Like in Toronto, they gave people this example. They said as long as a hockey stick. Everyone knows what a hockey stick is.
Oh, that's good.
What's hockey?
So,
but Avi, other people have been upset at the rabbis getting involved in other halachos. Like, who are the rabbis to tell me how to daven at home on Shabbos? I've been doing that for years. Like, what do I know about davening at home?
Right.
Taking advice from others.
You don't know. I could tell you all about it.
That's right.
But tell me, has your shul started? Has your home started to feel like shul now? Have you gotten it to the point? Have you gotten your davening to the point? Do you have a Candyman?
Anyone want to answer that? So the Weinstocks have a candy man. I'll tell you honestly, we actually have 3 candy people. We have some weeks we have Wally Finger. Somebody gets to be Wally Finger. And if you want a candy, you have to say Whirly Bird, the Hamavian Yavin. And sometimes we have the beloved Charlie and Lily Zablotsky dynamic duo. And if you want a candy, you have to shake hands and give a hug to Lily. So I never, for the record, I never get candy from Lily. Okay, let's just get that out there right now. But my kids love playing shul, and we have multiple candy men, and we've had a number of bar mitzvahs at our shul at home where we throw candy. And
kiddish.
So we have and sometimes my kids don't have breakfast before we start davening. We've decided that we're going to the 9:30 minyanim. Sometimes it's the YP on Shabbos morning. Sometimes it's the youth. Sometimes it's the teen, depending on how fast we want to go. But some of them don't eat breakfast before we start. So we get to, before Maftir or Haftorah, and some of them are going off for donuts and stuff. And I'm like, hey, davening's not over. Kiddush club. I'm putting
no respect. My nusach in my house is Chabad, so we started at 11:45. So just you know.
So that's
Shachris Mincha back to back.
We do exactly. Sometimes we do Mincha beforehand if the Balkoria can only come for a little bit. So
you can't borrow Balkorias anymore because that's not social distancing. So he has to.
By the way, I'm everything, but I also took Avi's job. I'm also running the groups in my house as well. So I'm doing everything.
Well, I don't know. I was davening with my sons on Yontif, and one of them, Binyamin, left the house. And I was like, I didn't know where he was going. And a half an hour later, he came back. He was cold. He had Enrique with him, and Enrique adjusted the AC. So we did appreciate that. We did appreciate that.
Well played.
Do you have everybody in the back sit down before you do the very last thing, which they're going to stand up right after anyway?
Yeah, we're trying new things. We're trying keep your talis on through Adon Olam. It's working with the 2 people in my house. I'm wondering if it'll work with the 300 in shul. But we actually had an incident a couple of weeks ago where Shal Shudas went on 45 seconds beyond the end of Shabbos, and there was a minyan that started in the hallway because they couldn't wait till the end of Shal Shudas.
It happens. Not officially, but it happens.
From what I hear.
I want to go off topic for a moment about people who have couples Facebook accounts. Not acceptable. I don't know whether it's Maish or Tzivia Stamen talking, but they said the 9 o'clock minyan has been very quiet these days. I'm finally comfortable davening there. That sounds like
funny. If I'm not mistaken, the last time we were in shul, Maish Stamen was at the 9 o'clock minyan. It's hard to remember, but it was the Shira choir, and lots of people were there.
Went out with a bang.
And so
wow.
Mesha's liked it that much, so he's stuck with it. All the power to you, and I'm glad to hear that it's being quiet.
I'm glad you brought up the Shira choir. That was going to be one of the riddles on the what do we call them? Boredom busters. The handouts on Yom Kippur. What do you
mean fast breaks?
Oh, fast breaks, right.
Oh, yeah,
what do you call one chassid wearing 4 shtreimels? That would be the Shira choir. One of those guys, I don't even know if he was Jewish. And
the little guy?
those were definitely from the Shtreimel Gemach. There was one chassid, and the other 3, the jury is still out. Where?
By the way, I borrowed it from him. You know that? I have those from him. Yeah, right here. Right there.
And here I thought I was the techie of the group.
We had it from the same guy, by the way. Look, it's the same beer. This is real horsetail, this is real stuff. This is real hair.
As long as it's not from India, from the Avodah Zarah.
The payas,
no.
We have nowhere to burn it, so you have to flush it this year.
The payas don't match the beard, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. He's wearing a tux. See this? Yeah, right there.
Right.
It's very
Chashiva. There's a wedding. 10 people allowed only.
But it was great having the Shira choir here, whatever they may be. Is it just 4 guys, or do they just grab from a pool and send?
No, they have 35 guys.
Like 35
They're
guys.
interchangeable?
More. It's huge.
And how many of them are actual verified Hasidim? Is there a certification
Jews.
process?
I thought they were like the Backstreet Boys, that they're like, it's them and no other ones, right? Like, you can't, they're not, the Backstreet Boys are interchangeable.
Could you walk up and give a little tug just to make sure that they're for real?
If they say oi, if you pull them and then they say oi, then you know they're authentic.
They teach them to do these things. They teach them to say these things.
Okay.
So we just had we had 2 wonderful Sedarim. Beautiful. I mean, I'm a little bit spoiled. I'm used to going to the Lascaux to Turnberry for Pesach, even though I kind of work my tuchus off there. It is very luxurious. And
wait, Avi, you told us we're not allowed to do celebrity endorsements, but okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. So I go to this program in this place that's somewhere southeast of here with this family that happens to be members of our show, and it's very luxurious. They have like a salad bar, but it's not just a salad bar because they have people standing there to chop the salad for you. It's like I'm on vacation. I shouldn't have to chew my own food. And so you bring them the bowl and they chop it all up for it. The little pieces, you can eat it with a teaspoon. And we didn't have any of that this year. But I was thinking there's all sorts of stuff that we don't miss. So I like to hear from the rabbis, what has gone on at your what has gone on at your Seder in the past that you didn't have this year, but you totally didn't miss it at all?
Noise.
Sleeping. Maybe? Okay, so I'll get her soon, okay?
Hello?
Honey, this is my TV studio.
I don't know what.
Tell mommy.
I don't know if it's so different than in the past. My family. Last year my whole family came down. My parents and siblings came down from Toronto. But the year before, we specifically tried just to have one Seder just with our kids. with those who live in our house, who we would quarantine with. And so that was actually our plan again this year. We ended up having 2 of them. I definitely think that during the Seder we had everyone in mind. Actually, at one point my wife is much holier than I, and at one point in the Seder she started crying, thinking about those who are sitting at home by themselves. And so it was definitely interesting and difficult for many. But at least from my personal experience, it was beautiful to be able to be with my kids and not be distracted and not have other people who feel like the kids are slowing it down, and just let them say everything they want. And people always complain, there's 2 Seders and Israel, one Seder. I'm always happy for the second Seder. The first Seder, I'm so tired. Both our Seders still somehow went to 1 a.m, even though it was just us, and I said nothing. My kids talked the whole time.
Whoa.
The first Seder,
Wait, whoa. How do you get a rabbi to say nothing? For how long?
A long time.
Can I sit down with your kids and just learn the secrets of that? We can use that once Shul meets up again.
There you go. Yeah, just ask provocative questions and wait for them to answer. You egg them along, But the second Seder is great. The first Seder went to bed 3 a.m, 2 nights in a row. So the second Seder had much more energy, and they had more to say. So definitely feel for those people who weren't as blessed. But I can't say that it wasn't that I didn't enjoy. For me, it was a wonderful experience, and especially the going out at 8:45 for Manishtana. That was a beautiful addition.
Yeah, cool. Kavod, Avi. How many views do we have on that, Avi? 3,000?
I think we're up to 8.
8,000?
8.
No.
Manishtana.
I went out.
We're close to 3,000.
I went out and sang.
Close to 3,000. Yeah, that was great.
So people.
I would say what I didn't miss is sort of the underlying sort of tension that sometimes exists when you have multiple personalities at the table, all of whom you love, but when there's other people at the table, whether it's another family or family friends or other family members, you gotta, I don't know how to say this, behave yourself and have patience with other people, and not jump down their throats when they stop you for, if I have to hear it one more time, how could it be that we went to Mount Sinai and didn't get the Torah? It's like going to a perfume factory. okay, come on, man. Like we were here last year, you know? It's like, and like, especially when we have the same families and the kids keep coming into the same grade, so they do the same Haggadah work, you know, you smile for a while, but, and you give out, we give out candy at the Weinstock Seder, but I'm not drinking at the Seder, besides the 4 cups.
Not coffee, vodka, anyway.
No, not at all. And sometimes you feel like you could use a little. So that was all not there. It was just kind of, I think like Rabbi Frieberg was saying, you just kind of went with the flow. You didn't really have to worry or take into consideration anything else or anyone else. And it just kind of rolled in a very natural way, without some of that internal, either internal or implicit tension that might exist.
Rabbi, that reminds me, like, no, what Rabbi Weinstock was talking about reminds me of a family member that wanted to speak and say Dvar Torah, and his parents obviously wanted him to stay and speak, and we saw that he had, you know, pages stapled, which is already a bad sign. When you have something that's stapled, that's no bueno. And we're like, oh, maybe I'm doing Shulchan Aruch, like not now, no, his parents said, no, you worked hard on it. You have to give him the time. So we're sitting there and he's reading his Dvar Torah, and it's actually very eloquent, very articulate. And he's reading it, and we're all very surprised. And then he gets to the end and he just so happens to read it. And this is why the Passover story is crucial for the Jewish people to always recite. Click here to subscribe to h.com. Oh, wait, what? So that's when we're like, really, come on. We've listened to you for 16 minutes already.
Did you donate to H?
Yeah, well, you know, you got to cut that off if you know, at least. When you print something out, make sure you cut that off. Exactly.
So, Rabbi Weinstock, we were talking earlier, and you were talking about the uncle. Speaking of Rav Karavani's, Rav Oded's Dvar Torah there,
right?
The uncle who's not going to be there this year.
Yeah. Well, that uncle hasn't been there for a little while, but it's like one of the Dvar Torahs that's out there that my father would often say is about what is it that has kept us as a Jewish people for all these years? You know, is it the Torah? Is it the Mishnah? So one of the suggestions of Yehisha Amda, what's kept us together, is anti-Semitism. The outward anti-Semitism has kept us together. And I have an uncle whom I love, who every year was like, "That's it. I don't believe that. That's garbage. Like we're Jews because we're proud to be Jews. We're not Jews because other people hate us." And there was always that like silence in between. It's like crickets. So like, you know, without having those counter perspectives at the Seder, although it's beautiful as part of the tapestry of what it means to be a Jew with lots of different perspectives, when they all don't have to be at your Seder at the same time, it sometimes leads to
again with the anti-Semitism. All right, now I'm the only one, it appears, who didn't get a haircut before Pesach. I'm looking around. Everyone seems very neat and tidy. Rabbi Nachbar, you might have a little bit more on top than the others. What did you do? You let your kids cut your hair or something? Because Supercuts was locked. I couldn't get in there. I know that like halfway to Lag BaOmer, I'm going to be like, let it grow. Give me a big afro. What's going on? How'd you do it? What's your secret?
My original plan was to just let it grow, much like the song, so eloquently sung by you. My wife had different plans. She voiced her opinion, I would say very strongly, that it was ripping this family apart, not getting a haircut. And then she offered to cut my hair, to which I retorted, if you come near my hair, I will kick you in the knees.
Both knees.
Both knees.
One kick?
I'm joking Facebook.
Rabbi Nachbar, when's your relationship share? When is your Zugiyut relationship share? When's that coming up?
That's going to be towards the end.
I think I'm supposed to write a phone number on my hand and like show it like this is the number. I'll write it down.
Luckily, I was able to procure a haircut from my wonderful mother-in-law, whilst wearing gloves and a mask. She, not me. Well, I guess I could have as well.
Did she wear this kind of mask?
No, she did not wear the Matzo masks. She wore another kind of mask. And therefore,
it's a Matzo mask.
And as they say, happy wife, happy life, and I live to see another day, as they say.
I was involved a little. I don't want to break confidentiality, but I was involved a little bit in that conversation.
HIPAA, it's a HIPAA. You're going to violate the HIPAA agreement.
But I mentioned to Rabbi Nachbar that his mother-in-law is used to, and since we're making celebrity endorsements, she in the past has cut shaitels, and so when you cut a shaitel, it doesn't grow back. So you're very, very careful with the way you cut hair once it's detached from the scalp. So I told Rabbi Nachbar,
hopefully,
you know what they say. By the way, Rabbi Weinstock, you know what they say? Shaitels grow back, and also ears don't grow back. So you got to watch out when you make those curves around there.
I'm just going to give a shout out to hairstyles by Rebecca Weinstock. She did a great job on she does adults and
good.
Celebrity endorsement.
As long as they are members of your family, they.
Us Yemenites don't have this issue. We shave every Friday. We get haircuts. We don't have this balagan of.
And you eat corn and you eat rice and you eat beans.
Yeah, we do whatever we want.
What I love about Yemenites is that they're Spartan, but with payas. Like who'd have thought?
No, we're better. We're like a different class. We're something. We were forgotten somewhere, far after Saudi Arabia. We were like totally forgotten. Then when we came in '48, we were like, oh, these guys exist. We got to find a place for them. Where have they gone?
Right, I got to jump in for a moment. I got to jump in for a moment with a backhanded compliment alert that we have coming over the wire right now.
Saw that.
When somebody throws actually into a compliment, it usually it zaps all the compliment
like
out
your
of
drasha
it.
was actually great, Rabbi.
Right. It actually made sense by the time you got to the end. And when they throw in surprisingly, but when they do both, like Marcy Pachter, and I quote, "You guys are actually surprisingly funny."
Wow.
Thank you, Marcy.
I feel
somewhat appreciate
right now.
Chaim to Marcy.
I'm feeling the somewhat love, actually. Maybe. Probably.
I'm going for the mullet look. Getting back to our original conversation.
The mediocrity is permeating.
I took care of the front myself, but just the back was too complicated. So we'll see what happens.
Business in the front, party in the rear. Now, is there like a tail to go with that mullet?
Eventually.
Like a proper Yidneck mullet.
Like a Billy Ray Cyrus.
That was like the Facebook version of, whatever you're wearing on top, people know. The bottom, it's like the front, they see. The back, who knows?
Right. Like Rabbi Weinstock's pants.
What?
The pants that you wear for all of your shiurim.
That's Avi, that was actually funny.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
Give him a clap. Where's the clap?
Actually
here?
meant it.
I'll get the clap going over here.
But getting back to our Yemenite friend. No, raising your hand is not clapping. Getting back to our Yemenite friend. What's with the bendy matzah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, you should know that that's actually the right way, because when you think about when you do korech, you can't really do korech. Think about it. I want people at home to think about it. When you say korech, no, that's not korech.
I always make a sandwich where it
I don't know
crumbles
when I
over.
make a sandwich at home. I don't make a lafa. I make a sandwich.
Think about it. I'm going to let you shout. I'm going to let you Ashkenazic people shout, and then I'm going to let you think about it. It's going to sink in. And let you think about what is korech. What is korech?
You're explaining it's rocket science. You don't think we made sandwiches before?
You korech, you put it around, you bind it together. When you make a sandwich, it doesn't do anything. You're just breaking off. That's how you know that the real matzah was the one that is soft, and you can actually make lafa. By the way, in Israel, you go and you have shawarma lafa because there's no difference.
It's true that it makes sense that when you think Korban Pesach, you probably should. In Pesach matzah maror is probably lamb shawarma in lafa with a little bit of hot zhug on it. That's probably what it was about. So I don't disagree. Rav Oded is probably right. But I just want to add one thing, because actually, soft matzah may be the original, but it's surprisingly disgusting.
It's true.
I've had it. A little shout out to Joey Batesh, who 1 year bought it for me, and it was the same year that word got around that Rav Schechter held that as long as it's under a reliable hashgacha, that it's okay for Ashkenazim as well. There's no tradition not to have a matzah anything less than 4 inches thick. You can have your matzah. So the Mishnah says so. So Joey Batesh bought me some, and it was terrible.
Yes, the first time we had it, another shout out, it was at the Ovadia's house. And this was years ago, before like in between our hotel days or whatever. And we were a little bit scared that we were going to go to hell, but at the same time excited to try soft matzah. And then we took a bite and we were like, not worth hell. We're going back to the crunchy stuff.
Because that's really the only thing matzah has going for it is the crunchy burn, the burnt taste, the crunchy taste. Otherwise, it just tastes like flour, and it's not good.
Am I the only one here on this panel who loves matzah? Like the regular?
I love matzah.
Oh, the regular stuff I like.
Well, what's the Sephardic matzah?
What do you mean by regular? What do you mean by regular?
The regular store-bought, like Yehuda or Osem. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Anybody here eat Menashevitz matzah?
Sure.
Well, it's on the shelf. I don't know. Who cares?
How can you eat that? How can you eat Menashevitz matzah?
I was just saying, does anyone else like matzah? All of a sudden you're going to judge.
No, not Menashevitz matzah. Like the Osem or Yehuda.
It all tastes the same.
No, not at all. Oh, no.
They don't taste the same. See, that's the problem, Avi. Ashkenazim don't have taste buds as much as Sephardim do. Everything's blend.
That's from the coronavirus. That's not as Ashkenazim.
Hey!
See, this is what they eat. This is what they eat all the time during like their meals. They just put a gefilte fish and just stick a carrot on top, and that's it. That's all they do.
Is that what that is? A carrot? I thought you were a matzah ball with a slice of orange.
I love it.
By the way, it could be. It's elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chaim. It could be a matzah ball. It could be. It's like the man. Whatever it is you want it to taste like, it's going to taste bad.
Looks like a miscolored pumpkin.
What I love about the matzah experience is that all we do at meals is complain if something tastes like matzah, but we do so as we shove our faces with like a pound of matzah at every meal.
That's right. Oh, and how about matzah pizza? This was another hotel story going back. It was a different hotel, different Pesach program. And the lady she was head of food and beverage for the whole hotel, but she came out of the kitchen carrying a tray of matzah pizza on the 8th day of Pesach, like around what would have been Shalosh Shudas time if it was Shabbos. And these people descended on her like piranha, stripping the meat off of a cow. And there was no pizza left in the pan by the time she got to the buffet. And she looked at me like, what was that? And I said, but try this. In about 6 hours from now, try serving this. People will spit on you because after Pesach, you're serving matzah pizza. I want real pizza.
Matzah products are a little bit like fake shrimp. Everyone wants it, like it's like fish. Like you want to eat fish that doesn't taste like fish. So you want to eat Pesach products that don't taste like matzah. That's like the.
I always look at it. I always look at it the same way as you look at like a Arbat Aminim. Where like after Sukkot, like what's this piece of lemon doing in my living room, and then you just chuck it away. And this was like a $900 like fruit, and then just throw it on top of the bima, just like here, chuck it all up there.
It's true.
I appreciate Yaakov Waldman's shout out to my wine.
Yeah, I was just going to say something about that.
It'd be better if it could be sponsored. Maybe if I put it up on the screen, I'll get a free bottle.
It's only
sponsorship opportunities available, correct?
Yeah, it's only the first show.
Gilo, please feel free to send me free wine. Anyone else, actually. I'm really not that picky.
Just to sum it up and answer Avi Baitner's question, it's Osem. I would say Osem or Yehuda is my top brand for.
Yehuda does win the awards. Yehuda wins the awards year after year.
Yehuda is the best. Yehuda stays crunchy for like months after, because I could eat matzah bride the whole
Those award
year.
shows for matzahs are very fickle. It's very hard to win those awards. So,
it's true.
Good for Yehuda. Really,
it's all about what's going on in the media.
It's true. There's a narrative. It's all about narrative.
Exactly.
It's very true. And they cut off the speeches.
Who's Yehuda?
Yehuda's got the better social influencers taking pictures of them with Yehuda Matzah on Snapchat. So everyone wants to.
Yes, rabbis who know what Snapchat is. Very, very short little list.
If anyone has a full bottle of Zwaka Shlovitz for Rabbi Nachbar, don't knock on his door. Just ring the bell like the Amazon man and run away.
Make sure you're wearing gloves.
And leave the booze. Just ring the bell.
Let me
leave
know
the
you
booze.
didn't. I won't tell him. You can just,
I will.
It's our little secret.
And then I will
Put it in the basket.
in the paint on my walls.
Put it like
So
a
you're paying way
basket
too
in a
much
note.
for your Schatzer matzah. You should have to speak to David Goldis. He'll get you a deal.
That's true. No, that's the one.
Rob Oded,
Oh no, because we were saying in terms of handmade versus machine made. So I think that Huda in terms of machine made. In terms of handmade, I guess is there anything above Schatzer besides whatever Oded's eating?
That really does. Handmade really does make a difference. Even though I don't think it's worth paying twice as much. Whatever they sell at Costco is fine. But since this year it was hand delivered to me by David Goldis, so shout out to him. Schatzer is pretty good. But when it comes in the box, I think it's all the same.
well, don't they all come in a box?
The question is,
Box.
what is the ratio of broken matzah to whole matzahs when you open it?
Oh my gosh!
Shots are
I heard
amazing.
Pesach.
They even write you a whole love letter about it.
My box was rough. As soon as I opened it, it was like powder. Like some anthrax in the box.
I'm wondering.
It was a Pesach party popper.
It was a Looney Tune commercial.
So we got
rough.
ours at Walmart this year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that one's great, but it's thick. It's thick. It's cheap, but it's thick.
It was nice and crunchy. And in fact, one of the boxes was so crunchy that all of the matzahs were crunched into little pieces, and there was not a single one. 2 boxes. We had one box with whole matzahs.
Supposedly they say if you put them in the oven, they crisp up even more than they are before.
Ooh.
Who knew? I've never done it. Is there a baking segment on this show?
Next week. Next week.
Can we get Rabbi Weinstock in the kitchen with the tool and everything, the equipment?
Avi Frier made ice cream already. I thought maybe he could crisp up some matzah.
Well, one week from tonight, when nobody cares about matzah anymore, I'll give out my super special matzah pizza recipe. So, Oded, what from Rabbi Abadi's list did you eat today?
What?
What did you eat today from Rabbi Abadi's list?
It's not a Yemenite thing.
No, Yemenite. Do they even eat all kidneyot? They're very.
Look. We eat locusts. We eat everything. I mean, when we were, it is true. When we were in
they eat all the plagues.
We eat all the plagues. We were there. We were happy. We were. The joke is that Yemenites eat everything, and because everything is cheap and free, then we take it. We're on the most lenient least. Let me tell you this. Yemenites don't have this idea of bishul achar bishul in certain cases. So I was the gosh of Shabbat wherever I go. Like, oh, we need to put the soup on. Like, that's me. I'll put the soup on, right? And then I like it's you should know when my wife and I were dating seriously, whatever it is. I don't remember what time it was. And when it was actually serious.
It was one day. At the beginning they met, and by the end they were serious.
Exactly.
You never know what time on that day.
Exactly. So we do these tests, these genetic tests that you do in order to make sure that there's matching and not chas v'shalom anything. So we're in the office, and then they tell us. So the lady asks my wife, "So what are you?" And she tells them, "I'm half Polish. I'm half Yaki, I know, whatever combination of matzo ball is that you want to talk about." And then she turns to me and she says, "What are you?" And as soon as I just said, I'm Yemenite, and Yemenite, that's good, that's perfect. You found the perfect guy for I'm genetically, I can take in everybody's corona and nothing would happen to me. It's like this super gene, Yemenite super gene. She was like, she was writing things. As soon as I said it, she was like, "Oh, there are no issues here. He's Yemenite. Forget it. They don't have any diseases.
Like
nobody cares about
the universal donor. You're like O positive blood.
Exactly. I'm the adapter. I'm the universal adapter. Whoever is with me, everything will be fine."
Right. And they get to cook on Shabbos, and they get to eat blood and frogs and whatever.
Do you guys have 10 plagues? Like, does locust count as a plague, or does that count as like a big?
Depends how much it costs. If it comes in a dozen, then we take 12.
All right, well, folks, I think we're coming down to the end here, and I'm just wondering if anybody has any final thoughts they'd like to share.
I would just share the fact that I've been saying for the last 3-4 weeks that humor is an incredibly powerful tool for coping and for getting through challenging times. I love a good meme, and there's been some really good memes throughout the time. I feel like that we Jews are, we're big in comedy, as Avi Frier knows, and he himself is a comic. The Jews have an affinity to comedy. It's all about timing, and it's all about good-natured fun at life, at ourselves, and using comedy and humor to soften challenging times. And if that's the case, then now's the time more than almost ever that we could all use a little bit of comedy. So I thank Avi for putting this together. I had a good time. I hope people who are watching had a good time too.
Great
And
time.
keep the memes coming. Keep the jokes, as long as they're good-humored, as long as they're good-natured, good ribbing. Clean would be preferable, but I understand that that's not always possible. But as long as they're in the right spirit of things, it could really be a way of bringing simcha to our lives, regardless of what else is going on. Chaim.
And the most important thing is stay at home, folks. Just stay at home. All right, everything is under control. This is Donald. I'm Donald Trump.
I couldn't tell.
Stay at home. You can't tell?
I can't.
The hair.
It looks
You've
just
got
like
the
the
hair,
Pope.
but not.
It looks like Stephen Baldwin.
Well, look, I can't do better than this. All right. This is me as Donald Trump telling you to stay at home. Tomorrow, Corona will end.
All right. Well, Tzachi Baitner is asking for when we're going to have coffee with the Rebbitzins. Apparently, we're not funny enough. Risa Schiff and Sandra Einhorn are complimenting Rabbi Weinstock on his slivovitz.
Hey, all right.
Which, by the way, he hasn't even had a sip of. He's just holding it up for show. He's been drinking coffee vodka the entire time. And thank you, everyone, for coming. We are going to...
There it is.
When Matzo Claus was going to show up.
It's Yehuda Matzo. It's Yehuda Matzo.
That's award-winning Yehuda Matzah to you.
That is award-winning.
That matzah is kidneyous because it's rather corny.
That's our time, folks.
That's it. That's it.
This is awesome. People throw tomatoes at their own computers. We don't even feel it. So
I have one more joke. Eitan Weinstock came up with this joke. It's a great joke, and I want to share it with all of you.
Wait, before you do, I just want to point out that he has preemptively blamed his son if this joke doesn't work. But
hey, here's the joke. Abraham's father Terach. What job did he have? What job did Abraham's father Terach have?
It's way past.
What job did Abraham's father Terach have?
He worked at a Dollar Tree.
At idolatry. Idolatry.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm going back to what I said about blaming your kid if the joke's not funny.
It's so sad how he was at the top and then all of a sudden
You
he had it in his hands.
This is where we're supposed to pitch the Elon Gold program.
Okay, so next Sunday night, let's actually have Eitan Weinstock come on. It was Eitan or Avi who?
And he's going to blame Rabbi
Eitan,
Weinstock.
8-year-old Eitan.
Let's have Eitan come on and let him tell the joke, and let's see if the delivery. I don't know. Maybe the delivery is different. Maybe it was funnier on 4 cups of wine. I don't know. It was funny. Well, you are my employer, so I'm going to say it was funny. Everyone, thank you for being with us. Tomorrow morning, we're doing Tag Team Hallel at 9 a.m. Online. Everything's online on the Shul's website, yih.org/online. Go to all the pages. Rav Oded will be with us. One of the
link below. Below. Do this. That's what they'll do. Go. Hit the subscribe button and the bell and link is below.
All that.
Right?
Do we have swipe up? So we're not that cool yet.
Oh no! I don't know how any of this works. This is my first Facebook Live ever. Next Sunday night, we're going to have a new Rabbis in Quarantine getting coffee, and we're going to keep on doing this until we're no longer in quarantine. Everyone,
oh wow!
Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Chaim.
All right.
Thanks, Avi.
I have
L'chaim,
stopped
l'chaim,
the
l'chaim.
live stream.